it was recently considered in the case of GVK Industries Limited versus Income Tax Officer, court ruled that because of interdependence and the fact that many extraterritorial causes have an impact or nexus with India and should be deemed to be within the legislative competence of national parliaments as being limited to only those aspects or causes that arise within the territory of nation-state. It would be impossible to conceive legislative powers or competence of national parliament as being limited only to the aspects or causes that arise, occur or exist or may be expected to do so within the territory of its own nation-state. Constitution imposes affirmative obligation on all the organs of the state to protect the interests, welfare and security of India. Parliament is empowered to enact such laws that serve such purposes. Hence, those even extraterritorial aspects or causes, provided they have nexus or connection with India, should be deemed to be within the legislative competence of the Parliament, except to the extent the Constitution itself specifies otherwise. Thus, the present-day constitutional jurisprudence regarding enactment of extraterritorial legislation by the Parliament, the courts recognized that none of the cases stand for the proposition that powers of the Parliament are unfettered and that our Parliament possesses the capacity to make laws that have no connection whatsoever with India. An interesting issue was considered in the case of State of West Bengal versus Committee for Protection of Democratic Rights, wherein an objection was raised regarding the exercise of power by High Court under Article 226 of the Constitution. The objection was based on the doctrine of distribution of legislative powers between the centre and the states. It pertained to the direction given by the court for investigation of a case by CBI without the consent of the state in which the offence was committed. The court considered the issue when the scheme of the Constitution prohibits encroachment by the Union upon a matter which exclusively falls within the domain of the state legislature, like public order, police, and the third organ of the state, viz. The judiciary, directs CBI, an agency established by the Union to do something in respect of a state subject, to investigate a case without the consent of the state government concerned. The court ruled that from a bare reading of the constitutional provisions, it was manifest that the legislative power of the Union to provide for the regular police force of one state to exercise power and jurisdiction in any area outside the state and can be exercised only with the consent of the government of that particular state. However, the restriction imposed on the powers of the central government does not apply mutatis mutandis to the constitutional courts.